Hey, welcome to Below the Skirt with Tamara. My name is Tamara Green, pelvic physical therapist, and I help women overcome uncontrolled bladders, return to that pleasurable sex, and manage those pregnancy symptoms so you can become a postpartum champion. So, my girl Virginia, she's always here as always, but what I want to talk about is a tool that can help you with those painful muscles downstairs, below the skirt, however you want to say it. So many times, when I work with clients and we discuss on different treatment options can vary. It could be hands-on, it could be educational. So it's so many different things, but with anything, sometimes we need tools, right? So behind Virginia, we have what I call a foam roller. Now, with the foam roller, its job is to allow penetration into something using your weight on it. Now, again, there may be different positions you could possibly get in, but below the skirt, you may say, well, how does this affect below the skirt? Now, if I hurt my elbow, what happens? My elbow is not just in pain, it's the muscles that are around the elbow to support it. So sometimes we have to release some of that muscle tension to give you relief to that spot. So it's the same thing when it comes to your pelvis. If you're having pelvic pain or anything like that, you will have pain into expanding into some of the areas. So I'm going to hit on 3 different spots: the back of the hip, the inner thigh, and the side of the leg, as muscles that you can work out with a foam roll. So you can get something like this online. There's different sizes, different how tight, not how tight it is, but there's different sizes and also the firmness of it. It doesn't matter how wide it is in reference to the diameter, as you can see. It doesn't matter. It's just you getting on it. Now, you may say, okay, this is painful. So sometimes there's pain before pleasure. Ladies, there's pain before pleasure. So if you're saying, hey, I've been having issues with my pelvis, or I've hurt my back, but I'm having pain down my leg, I'm going to show you different positions that you can get into. So in reference to here, this is my IT band. There's a muscle that starts at the top of the hip, and there's a band that attaches all the way down to the lower part of the outer leg. Now, what you're going to do is you control how much pain it is. So it's almost like a massage therapist, but not really a massage therapist. It's deep muscle work. So there's different positions. So again, it starts to the top of my hip, and it runs all the way down the side of my leg. So I'm going to get into this position, and I'm just going to use myself to rock and roll, rock and roll all the way up and down that leg. So I'm going up and down that leg. Now, again, I'm at the center of it, but there's some tissue to the front. So I'm going to turn my body over a little bit and then work the front of that muscle, going up and down. Now I'm going to turn and go more to the back of it. So again, your positioning will get to different spots. Here, and now rolling more to the back of it. So for you to understand what I'm doing, I was along the side, I was more to the front of it, and I was more to the back of it. Now, this stuff is not comfortable. No, it does not feel like someone is tickling you. It is painful, and I'm trying to have my big girl panties on right now. So that's a way to work the muscles on the outer part of your leg. Now, you may be a runner, too. You may be someone who, you may not even have a pelvic issue, but some of these muscles can get very tense and uncomfortable. You can work it out. Now, I would say you can do it on your own, or you can have someone help you, but be careful if it's your significant other or whatnot. Don't start something you can't finish, right? So there's a spot right here. A lot of people who have low back pain, sciatica runs below the skirt, or you may have had a baby, some issues with your SI. So a lot of times this muscle here is very tender. You feel like you just can't quite sit on it, and it's very tender and achy. Now, there's many ways you can do this, but say if I'm sitting on it, now you may say, oh, that's too painful. You can't put all that pressure through. I get it. So you can just relax, come on it, or kind of come off of it a little bit. So I'm here, but typically when I'm here, then I'm working on rolling onto it. So I'm on this table, but a firm surface is the best. Now, if I really want to take it another level, say you went running and you just have some issues with your piriformis muscle, that's what I'm sitting on. Now, here, I'm really, wrong leg. Now, I'm really putting pressure on it here. And I can roll up and down. So the leg that I'm actually wanting to work out that muscle is the leg that is crossed over. And I'm sitting directly on it. And I'm rolling, 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 rolling. Again, I'm turning it at a different angle, same thing, and I'm rolling on it. Now you may say I'm doing this and I may feel like there's tingling in my leg. Again, the sciatic nerve runs right underneath it. So you may not want to put too much pressure on it if it's inflamed, but working that muscle out will definitely help. If you want to give it a bigger significance on this, then you can do it like that. Give it more into a stretch as you're on it. Now, that's the outer. Now that we work. Now we just work the piriformis muscle, which is that muscle right the seat of your butt. And then now we're going to work the muscles on the groin, the inner thigh. If you're someone that has pelvic pain, I had a client come into the office today, and she just said, I'm just so achy down there. Just don't know why. I did my assessment. She was tender all in here. So we worked on releasing those muscles. So what you can do, I'm going to put the roll here. So I need to go here through here. So I'm going to do the best way. I'm going to do the best way that I can, but there's no pretty way. Sometimes there's not a pretty way to do it. So now I'm putting pressure down on my leg, and I'm just rolling in and out, all the way up at the base and bottom of my knee, and because that muscle attaches all the way up to the secret pearl. So I'm rolling here. Now I'm going to turn myself forward to get more of the front of the muscle. And then I may turn myself a little bit further back to get the other part. So you get the drift of what I'm saying. So my point, there's many different ways to get things. So you may say, hey, I've stretched. I feel like there's some really tender spots. Like if you've gone to a massage therapist, sometimes they'll just really get into that muscle, and once it's released, you feel significant improvement. This is something like that, but not quite like that. But this is just a tool to help increase some of that blood flow, give some penetration to that area to decrease some of the pain that you may have in muscles. So yes, I'm talking below the skirt, but it doesn't just have to be below the skirt. That could be anywhere. It could be your lower back. It could be your thighs, right? You may be having some issue with your thighs, so you may just want to work on, you may want to just work on rubbing, rolling onto it. If you are having discomfort, a little bit of roll is very uncomfortable. So just rolling up and down on that muscle. So again, a tool that you can get very cheap online, it's called a foam roll. And it's a tool that you can be able to use to help release some of those muscles. And again, you may have to have some pain, but for that pleasure, but it will get you the results that you're needing. And it's just another tool to help you live your best life below the skirt. And thank you for joining me in Virginia.